So in a couple of weeks, my boyfriend and I plan to go to France for a couple of days on a romantic getaway. His own words, not mine, to spend quality time together because we've both been busy with work. I was excited about the trip and spending quality time with my boyfriend, but then he dropped this bombshell on me. He invited one of his friends because he always wanted to see France, so my boyfriend thought he'd be kind and ask his friend to come along. So this was a big shock to me, and I told my boyfriend about my concerns. He told me that his friend had already paid for his flight ticket, and he said that he was planning on either changing our hotel room to a room with 2 beds, or that his friend would sleep on the sofa. He did all of this without telling me a thing. I told my boyfriend that, quite frankly, I didn't want his friend to come and that it was supposed to be a romantic getaway, and he said that his friend wouldn't bother us and he'll do his own thing. But I don't know, I just don't feel comfortable with it. So we argued for a bit more, with him saying that he paid for most of the trip, so he feels entitled to bring his friend along. In the end, I just got fed up, and I may be a bit dramatic, but I felt betrayed, so I told him I wouldn't be coming if his friend was. He said I was being ridiculous, and I should go since it's been paid for anyway, and I was being overly dramatic, but this is how I feel. He said I was being manipulative and cruel for making him choose between his friend and me. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, seriously, what is he thinking? How is it a romantic getaway if there's someone else snoring in the next sofa? Like, why? Is your boyfriend that clueless? I really hope he isn't expecting you to be comfortable sharing a bed with him with someone else 5 feet away. It's already bad enough with the friend coming along, but to share a bedroom? What the heck? I would also decide not to go on that trip. He can enjoy a romantic getaway with his friend. It sounds like that's what he wants anyways. He doesn't respect you. Keep that in mind going forward. I'm also always curious about those third wheel people in these kind of stories. Like, wouldn't that friend also be uncomfortable crashing a couple's romantic trip to France? Let alone sharing a room with the couple. You'd think so, but I guess some people have no shame or are denser than the last loaf of bread I tried to make. OP, the petty part of me would go and pay an unusual amount of attention to the friend and only give yes or no answers to the boyfriend. Only do that if you want to burn down the relationship. Yeah, wow, I'm so sorry, OP, this is not okay. This vacation sounds like he's designing it to see more than one Eiffel Tower. I think you aren't in the kind of relationship you think you are. To think you would be okay sleeping with your boyfriend in a room with one of his bros is wrong, especially without telling you, especially throwing money in your face, and sleeping in the same room with a guy you aren't involved with. I don't think you're being ridiculous. If he wants to go on a romantic vacation with his bro, so be it. I, 38 female, am married to my husband, 42. We've been together since our early 20s and have 3 small children, all under 10. He's a mechanic and works anywhere from 60 to 80 hours a week, while I work as a hostess 3 days a week at a restaurant while the kids are at school. I do the majority of the housework and childcare, and I don't mind, as I understand he has a hard job and works a lot. He gets the kids on the bus every morning because he leaves for work about 10 minutes afterward. All I ask of him is to do his laundry as his clothes are covered in oil and grime and they need to go in by themselves, and I ask him to pick up after himself because the kids destroy the house enough. A couple of times a week, he'll help with dinner and clean up at the end of the day as well. Over the last 2 months, he's completely stopped helping. He dumps his clothes on the laundry room floor, his half of the bedroom is a mess, he leaves cans and wrappers all over the living room, and he's even stopped getting the kids up, which has upset them as they love their mornings with Dad. He's also been coming home hours later than usual. I've been letting it slide as he seems very stressed out, but a few days ago, he snapped at me for being a crappy wife, for letting his clothes go unwashed. I reminded him that he always did his laundry and he hadn't asked me to do it. I've been doing it, I just hadn't got to it yet. He just grumbled and went to go watch TV. Last night I made chicken Alfredo. We have it about once a week because the kids love it and no one's ever complained. Well, he complained and moaned throughout the whole dinner. Finally, he said since I'm not taking care of the house, I should at least put a good meal on the table, that I've just been letting the whole family go to crap and I should be ashamed of myself for treating him and his children like that. He called me a bad wife and mother in front of our children. I told the children to go to their rooms and snapped. I screamed at him about how much I do for the household, that if it wasn't for me, the place would be trashed, and he has no right to treat me like this over chicken Alfredo. We went back and forth for a while before he left, and I have no idea where he went, and he isn't answering my calls or texts. I feel bad now as I shouldn't have reacted like that, especially because I know he's just stressed from work, but it all built up and came out at once. I just want to know if I was wrong for freaking out on him like that. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, OP. I sincerely hope I'm mistaken, but your dear husband may be having an affair and setting you up to be the bad wife and mother to justify his behaviour. That's what happened to me. This, or he was fired and can't make himself admit it. Also, could he possibly be depressed or burnt out? He works 60 to 80-hour weeks. I'd be surprised if he wasn't burnt out. In the past 2 months, have you attempted to determine why your partner changed so drastically? Just saying it seems like this man is keeping all his pain inside, because my guess is if he doesn't work, bills aren't paid, so he's not allowed to complain, so it comes out as anger. To be honest, the solution may be you work more, so he's not killing himself working 80 hours a week. Screw all these people telling you to be more understanding about your husband's burnout, like it's your fault he demeans, disrespects and degrades you in front of your children. Kids under 10 are a full-time job and you bring in extra income with part-time work outside the home. You've been more than generous in allowing him to slide on his very minimal chores for 2 months. To complain about a homemade meal? I don't know what your husband needs. Therapy, a different job, or a little taste of what it will be like when his wife leaves him. But this open contempt he's displayed is unacceptable and a complete marriage ender. The man is breaking his marriage vows, tiny crack by tiny crack. Yeah, I'd just be like, whatever changes you need to make in your life to stop treating me like this need to happen in the next 2 months. I doubt he's cursing his boss out. OP, don't feel bad that he isn't responding. He's the one acting like a child. Keep a watch on your money and protect your kids. It sounds like your husband is checking out. My sister-in-law, married to my brother, is a resident physician who works 60 to 80-hour weeks and frequently works one or both days of the weekend. Her residency is a 7-hour drive from where my husband, myself and my baby girl toddler live. My brother and I were always very close growing up and even lived in the same apartment, and later same city, so we were never more than 20 or 30 minutes away from each other. I got married and had my baby and he moved 7 hours away to be with his fiancée, now wife, pretty soon after I had my baby. It was devastating for me as I'd always pictured us being close and having him involved as an uncle. Sister-in-law works 6 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. 6 or 7 days a week, but does have some golden weekends where she has Saturday and Sunday off. She usually has one per month, and then she has 3 weekends of vacation, never over Christmas or New Year's holidays. During the 1 weekend a month that she has completely off, she and my brother either stay at home because she needs to relax, or will drive 2 hours to see her family. During the 3 weeks of vacation, which she can only take 1 week at a time, they went on a 1-week-long trip to Hawaii, a 1-week-long trip to Cancun with her family, and then 1 week where they just visited her family 2 hours away. They haven't made the trip to visit us more than 1 or 2 times a year, as they say the drive is too hard with the limited time she has off, and she's usually too tired to come anyways. But not too tired for Hawaii or Cancun. They always ask my parents and us to visit them during the holidays. She works, so at least we can be together, and she will join us every day after 5. But it's hard for us to travel with a toddler. My parents have to split time between visiting there and visiting us, and we need them for childcare. I've been asking my brother and sister-in-law to visit us more, even though I know her schedule is busy, and my brother got frustrated with me. When I asked him to visit alone, he said she needed him because the heavy workload has been really mentally straining on her, and quoted how resident physicians have a really high depression rate and basically called me an idiot. I feel it's unfair we have to visit all the time, considering we have a toddler and also both work full-time, and feel that they should balance better to visit us rather than just vacation. Am I the idiot for insisting? You are the idiot. You don't have to travel to them if it's too hard for you, but you come across as judgmental and lacking in compassion for how they spend their limited free time. Asking them to travel 7 hours each way for a visit on the rare Saturday and Sunday she has off is unreasonable. That would be 14 hours of driving for probably not even 24 hours together, including sleep hours. You say they do make the trip about twice a year, and that seems reasonable given these circumstances. You are the idiot and delusional. Going to Hawaii and staying at a hotel is a relaxing vacation. Going to stay with a family who has a child is not. Medical residency is grueling. She can't balance better. You have the right to wish you'd spent more time with your brother. You do not have the right to expect it, though, nor to tell other people how to spend their vacation time. You also don't get to complain about your parents spending little time with your brother rather than looking after your kid. They are his parents too, and it's not for you to judge how your parents do that. If they're unavailable, you will have to find another solution for your child. OP probably expects him to babysit for free. She did say she expected him to be a more involved uncle. This is exactly the vibe I got. She is the one with the kid, she's the important one, and people should cater to her and her baby. Could you imagine if the brother had a baby? OMG, nuclear war. OP, keep it up, and you'll guarantee you have no relationship with your brother. I, 28 male, have been with the love of my life, Emily, 26 female, for 7 years, married for 2. We've always talked about having kids, and I've always wanted to be there when they were born. When my dad was still alive, he used to tell my siblings and me all the time about how it literally brought him to tears. Not a man who cries, by the way, and he would say he was so grateful for all of us and for the experience. My beautiful and amazing wife is 8 months pregnant. It's been a pretty difficult pregnancy for her, well, for us, but especially for her. She's had a few losses in the past, and I've just been praying to God for both of them to make it through safely. We were talking more and more about what was going to happen when she went into labour, and she was very adamant that I not be in the room, natural or C-section, no matter what. I've tried convincing, pleading, begging, but she won't change her mind. Her mom is going to be with her, and I understand that if she needs a mom and must do whatever to ensure everything goes smoothly. I don't want to stress her out too much because I keep telling myself all that matters is that they're both healthy, but I'm honestly really sad about not being able to be there for my son's birth. It's not about me, I know that. All that matters is that they're both healthy. I've been trying to come to terms and understand this on my own time so as not to bother her, but Emily's just being so condescending to me, and I know that she's just stressed out and scared, so she doesn't mean it, but I feel like I deserve to process this at least for a few days. I still do everything as I've done before, but she says that now I have this beaten puppy dog look on my face and it's making her angry. Then she started scolding me, asking why it mattered so much to me and if I was going to act this weak in front of our son. She told me I needed to be a damn man and get over it. I feel like crying, but I don't want her to know and get mad at me again, so I told her I was going out to get groceries and I'm writing this in the car to try and calm myself down. I love her so much, but what she said really hit me hard. I just wanted them both to be healthy and safe, but I also wanted to be there. You are not the idiot, but is she always this cruel and misogynistic? Holding your baby for the first time is amazing. It would suck to be the dad and be third in line to hold your child. After mom, grandma, then dad maybe. I tear up often when I think of my kids, and they're adults now. Not misogynistic, straight up obsessed with toxic masculinity. Men are weak if they cry or care about seeing their child's first moments. Oh no, this woman has very toxic views, and OP really needs to take a look to see if this is the kind of mindset he wants his child to be raised with. Yeah, while your wife can choose her support system in her delivery room, this stuff is totally uncalled for. You said it matters to you because you care about them and the moment, which is a valid reason. And her belittling, gendered statement about being weak is pretty horrible. You do need to support her delivery choices, but that doesn't give her a free pass to be so verbally abusive. I can't decide if that makes you both idiots for your behaviour or gives you both a free pass, but you both need to tighten up the family unit before the baby comes. A little context. My friend weighs 350 pounds. Anyways, whenever we go to the mall, she'll continually make us stop because she's out of breath and needs to sit. It's really annoying because it takes time we have to shop. And not only does she make us sit, but she whines about how tired she is while we're walking. It's gotten to the point that my group of friends and I have been debating whether we should invite her at all. So I was like, you know what would fix this? Why doesn't she just use those mobility scooters? First, she wouldn't be as tired and out of breath, and second, it would fix our time issue. So my friends and I FaceTimed her, told her about the idea, and asked if she was down with it. She almost lost her mind over this and asked if we were saying this to call her fat. I said no, and that we were asking because we couldn't deal with her constant having to stop. I didn't understand why she was so offended when we were just trying to help. She called us awful people and started saying how she couldn't control it because of her weight and that we just needed to deal with it. I went on to say she was being selfish and asked how it was fair to us we waste all of our time because she makes bad food choices, and said it was either she used the scooter or she could stay home. She went on to cuss me out and hung up. All my friends think I was nicer than they would have been, and they're completely on my side. My mum thinks I was a little harsh, but she said she'd probably also have done the same thing. It got me thinking if I was the actual idiot here. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. I generally hate shopping, to the point I will often run from shop to shop. If someone was slowing me down, I would either leave them behind or they would have to find a way to catch up. You're far nicer than me. A reasonable proposal was offered and she lashed out in response. I think she needs to understand that this response could lead to her getting invited to fewer places. 350 pounds or 175 kilograms is morbidly obese, and that is obvious to everyone. I can't understand how people in that condition can act as if everything is okay. You haven't highlighted anything or called her anything. Maybe you challenged her denial. The physical condition comes with massive limitations and physical stress. It's her life and her body and she can do what she wants with it, but equally this applies to you guys as well. If you don't want to shop like that, she has to accept that. OP, isolation will hurt her, so you've got to keep getting her out of the house no matter what. Weight is, unfortunately, a very sensitive issue because of the stigma surrounding it. Let her cool off, then maybe apologize if you've come off as insulting and have a heart-to-heart about her health. Some of us need a little tough love.